Ms. Radwagen. I now call on Mr. Sablon for 5 minutes.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I have a general question for Mr. Bearfield, Mr. Dempsey, Ms. Church. Thank you. Well, thank you all for joining us this morning. And I want to thank you for your service, for all that you do to improve the life of veterans and their families. Of course, your organizations have been successful at getting veterans involved at the national level to increase the benefits and services. In my district, the Northern Mariana Islands, veterans infrequently benefit from these services because of the limited VA services in our islands and our remote location. And I continue to encourage my veterans to formally organize to advocate for equitable treatment. So my question is, do you have any recommendations or resources to help them become an effective voice for their community, especially involving mental health issues? The one thing that we're really almost entirely lacking. Could my veterans reach out to you and seek your help, despite that they are not members of your organizations? The only VSO in the Northern Marianas is the Veterans for Foreign Wars.
Thank you for that question, sir.
Church, thank you.
Thank you for your question and for your concern for the care of folks, especially on the Mariana Islands. We have several members that are from the Marianas and Saipan, and so one, encourage them to join MVA. We would absolutely love to have them and to advocate for those unique needs. As I mentioned earlier, the care and availability of treatment on a broad, wide scale level on folks that live in insular communities is dismal. Folks traveling from one island to the other and maybe getting care and it's barely care at that. So one, would love to hear more from them. If you have folks, please send them our way. And two, would love for the committee to really prioritize those needs of folks living on island communities. There's a lot of concern and care for tribal communities, which is amazing, and we are absolutely here for that. And when it comes to island communities, I feel like they are absolutely left behind when it comes to the provision of their care. So I highly encourage this committee and the entire committee to focus on this.
Wow, and I'm outstanding that you actually have some connection with veterans in my district. And I don't know what rules allow, but if you would reach out to them and ask them if they could organize and meet with me, I would really appreciate that, Ms. Church, thank you for what you do. Mr. Bearfield, Mr. Dempsey, any thoughts?
Yes, I would just echo the sentiments of Ms. Church that yes, if you have constituents in your area that are looking for available services to help them with the Department of Veterans Affairs, by all means, they can feel free to reach out to DAV and we can do what we can to help them establish their claims or look into healthcare, like as you mentioned specifically, mental health care for them specifically. And we would be more than willing to, see what we can do to help them out with their claims and answering their questions.
Okay, thank you. Because VFW just announced that they're now willing to provide training for individuals virtually so that they could help other veterans, and that would be something also that I now started to promote in my district. Let veterans know that hey, you can take this training lessons on virtual. And where it was previously required in person, but now you can take it virtual and learn how to assist other veterans. I have very little time left for Mr. Bearfield if he has anything to say.
Mr. Sablon, I understand that that Mr. Bearfield's the other witness. I'm sorry, not Mr. Bearfield, but the other witness is
Mr. Dempsey.
Oh, okay, so you're Mr. Bearfield and the other one's Mr. Dempsey. Okay, but my time is up almost. So thank you very much again. This is a good hearing. Chairman Takano, I need to exit and join.
Mr. Sablon, if you want to ask Mr. Dempsey a question, I will allow it since Mr. Dempsey's internet went down. Do you have a question for Mr. Dempsey?
Nothing, just a comment on services he provides to veterans. If my veterans, they're not members of his organization, could reach out, and for now, while I encourage them to be members. So, and I'm surprised Ms. Church has members from the Marianas. I'd really like to get to commit and get to meet with them and actually share their thoughts on what I could do for them while I'm in this committee. But no, Chairman Takano, I very much thank you for your generous offer, sir.
You're back. Well, yeah, thank you. And Ms. Church does say that she has members in the insular areas. So I now.